Motor, J Motor, J Motor, J Motor, fucking name. Heckler house, Heckler house. Oh, 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 oh.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week, the only thing big in the news going on was that Trump went to this event or whatever, and he spoke out, and he was talking about day one, he's going to get rid of the transgender nonsense. There's only two genders, and it will be like that across the board, or two sexes, male and female, for any kind of documents or anything like that, licenses and stuff. Then he mentioned the whole they can't, go after the children anymore with that stuff. No self-mutilation or anything. None of that crap is going to happen anymore. He's going to get rid of it in these hospitals and these the military and the schools and blah 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 blah. I mentioned the whole, deporting all the illegals again. He said that they're going to take back the Panama Canal because what they're doing is ridiculous. They're price gouging their customers. And he's going to put a stop to it. Well, he said he's going to go down. Apparently, these females that are in power, like the female president of Mexico, she's part of the cartel, so he's going to go down there. He said they're going to let us go in there, and we're going to get rid of all them cartels, whether they like it or not. Okay. Stuff like that. I can't remember what else he said, but those were some of the issues he brought up that they're going to take care of when he first gets in there. He's talking a lot of smack. He said he's going to he's got meetings set up with Putin, and let's see, Iran and Israel or some shit. And I don't know. He's got meetings set up with all these different people in China or whatever. He said China's going to stop their shit too. He ain't going to allow that crap anymore. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. He's talking a big game. We'll see what he can do. He put a squash on the whole Elon and him having problems thing. He said that's all the media talking shit. So we'll see what happens there too. Yeah, there's apparently, according to him, there's going to be a lot of changes coming. Pendulum is swinging back to the right to bring more balance. It's been way out there in left field for far too long. So hopefully he gets all he says he's going to get done. We know what's happened before when he was in there and they kept trying to block him for trying to get things done. We'll see. Uh, I did see something to do with the New York mayor. She's in a lot. She's in some hot water. But they always pick these dumbasses to run New York. These stupid liberals. And it's a woman. Again, they just can't run shit. They're not leaders. Women are not leaders. They never were meant to be leaders. Anyways, apparently crime has skyrocketed on the subways in New York. And this illegal immigrant, or sorry, illegal alien, that's the correct term, burnt a woman alive and just watched her die, watched her burn. Sat down on a bench across from the subway train and watched her burn. And no one did jack shit. Everybody was just had their phones out, screaming world star and crap like that, which is disgusting. Those that did that shit should probably be in jail too, to be honest, because they just sat there and let it watch and then filmed it. So what the hell? You're part. You just helped commit a crime. You're an accessory to it, and you did nothing. But I can't necessarily blame them either. People not wanting to do anything in New York. I mean, they just tried to fucking ruin a man's life and put him in prison for the rest of his life because he tried to help people. So it's fucked up. It really is. These liberal big cities, you know, I'd never live in one of them because they all want this shit done to you, but then as soon as it happens to them, they're bitching and moaning. So, whatever. Anyways, let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about. I got done finally watching the last 2 seasons of The Walking Dead. I know I've been putting it off for a while, but I finally got it done. The problem I had was just this show, folks, started focusing more on the drama of the people, the survivors, instead of what the show was supposed to be about, was the dead. So you saw more and more shows based around the survivors and them killing each other off than you did watching them having to fight zombies. That's why it got old. It was rinse and repeat. You know, they fight off zombies, then they fight each other, and the zombies come in, destroy everything, and they're off running, finding a new place again. The last 2 seasons, season 9, they changed everything up. You know, everything's been years later after Rick supposedly disappeared. His daughter's a little badass now. It's like, get the fuck out of here. This little tiny 80-pound 9-year-old girl's like this super badass or whatever. And I'm just like, get the fuck out of here. In season 10, Miss Shone or whatever, she takes off. She goes looking for Rick. She meets this guy who's lost his marbles and has imprisoned a group of people, researchers. They were all researchers on this island. He was supposed to give her weapons and help her out, but then turned on her. But then she turns and lets him live, and lets him run off, and then helps the other people get out of there. And then she goes off looking for Rick, because she finds some of his stuff and thinks he's still alive. So she takes off after him. And she runs into this giant group of people at the end of one particular episode. But that's all you see of them. You don't see anything else of them. They finally take care of the Whispers. They take them out. Now, I'll tell you this. I don't understand why they still have the Negan character. Like, he should have been dead a long time ago. Like, they should have killed him off a long time ago for what he did. But they kept him alive. And they still keeping him alive. And he helps kill the woman who called herself fucking Alpha, which was retarded. Alpha refers to a man, a male leader. He's the alpha of the group. But in this, they've made it a woman. It's fucking. And that's why it really started irritating me about the show. Is they started changing everything to where it was all the women that were like the leaders of everything. All the communities, fucking the bad guys, the good guys. It was all women that were the leaders, not one man. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. So unbelievable, unrealistic. Anyways, they kill off the Whispers, and then they bring in this new group. Called the Commonwealth. Now the Commonwealth is basically has been described as the Britons called themselves the Commonwealth through their various places that they had taken over, like Hong Kong, Australia, shit like that back in the day. They called themselves the Commonwealth. I don't think they do anymore, but anyways, this place is called the Commonwealth. They found it through Eugene. He was having some radio talk with a woman. However, the woman that he meets is not the same woman that he was talking on the radio. Apparently, the one he meets is a spy who works for some dude within the Commonwealth who thinks he's going to take power from the old lady, again, a woman who's running the Commonwealth. He's like a patsy kind of dude. He does all the dirty shit for her and blah, 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 blah. It's like, whatever. She has a snot-nosed kid who ends up getting killed, and then she blames it on Eugene. And then there's this big fight that happens between the Commonwealth people and them. Now, the guards for the Commonwealth look like they tried to do something like, stormtroopers from Star Wars or some shit. And they looked ridiculous. It was dumb looking. Seriously dumb looking. These guard outfits. Red and white guard outfits. It was dumb. Like, where'd they get all the material to make all that? Give me a break. Anyways, eventually, it's found out that the old lady doesn't give a shit about her people. The people find out about it. And the Commonwealth gets taken over, of course, by Elijah, or the king that was of the kingdom, and the main guard there, who come to find out it was his sister that was talking to Eugene the whole time. She kind of helps out too, but anyways, the main guard, he wore red. I forget what they call him, Mitzer or some shit like that, Mercer or some shit like that. But he was the main guard. He becomes like the governor or lieutenant governor of the Commonwealth, and Eugene, or not Eugene, but Elijah. He becomes like the governor of the town. So basically, you know, part of Rick's group. Now at the end of the show, the little girl, Rick's daughter, tells I can't believe I can't think of his name. Fuck. Crazy, I can't think of his name. He's the biggest star on the show. Anyway, she tells Norman Reedus' character, I can't believe I can't think of his name. Tells him, you know, that Miss Shawn went off to Rick. She didn't want to tell him because she thought he'd be mad. She calls him Uncle now. But he decides at the end of the show he's going to go look for him, find out if he can help them, find out, bring him back. Carol, her story arc is just ridiculous, you know, from this battered woman to like this super badass chick or whatever. I just don't buy it. I'm sorry, I don't buy it. Daryl. Daryl goes off looking for Rick and Miss Shawn. And then Carol stays back to take care of the kids. Who else? For whatever reason, like I said, Negan should have been dead a long time ago. I mean, if it would have been me, I would have killed him a long time ago. After what he did. But anyway, they let him live for whatever reason. It was dumb. But they're trying to get him and, you know, Maddie being buddy, and I don't know why. It's dumb. And then that's pretty much the end of the show. And you get kind of a sneak peek of the spin-offs where him and Maddie are got to go do some kind of mission together. The story of finding Rick with Miss Shawn, and then you know, Daryl doing his thing, which didn't make any sense because I saw that sneak peek and I was like, well, I thought what the hell, doesn't he go to France or some shit in that new series? But yeah, they have a few spin-off series. I haven't heard anything else about the other two, but the Daryl series seems to still be going on. Now, I might eventually get to watching those spin-offs. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I'll watch The Fear of The Walking Dead or not. That's completely different. But I am curious to see what happened to Rick. Now, like I was saying, I definitely want to know what happened to Rick, so I'll probably watch that one eventually. And I might watch the Daryl one, but I'm not sure about the Maddie. I don't know why I say Maddie. It's Maggie and Negan spinoff. Not sure about that one. And I really don't know if I'll watch The Fear of The Walking Dead. But I'll eventually get around to those, probably. So So that's all I got for you. The last 2 seasons, just thumbs up, thumbs down. Wasn't great, wasn't bad either. But anyways, let's get on to your B movie reviews. Alright, Movieholics. This week is Horror Week. And we have a couple of one you probably never heard of, and then one you're probably familiar with. They got so many remakes and stuff coming out. I figure I'd watch one of them. I'd rewatch because they're fixing to remake it, and I don't know why. It doesn't need to be remade, but whatever. The first one is called Evils of the Night. It was done in 1985. I couldn't find any box office numbers on this. It starred John Carradine and Tina Louise. Basically, the story is you have these aliens, I guess, because none of them look like aliens. They come to Earth and they take over an abandoned hospital out in the middle of nowhere. It really doesn't say where they're at. They mention Reno a couple of times, but it doesn't necessarily say that they're in Reno. They're in some Timbuktu town somewhere. But anyways, these aliens, they need the blood of young people for some reason. So they drain them to get their blood and kill them. Not in the sense of like a vampire or something, but more like medical shit. It doesn't really explain. It has something to do with them staying alive or some shit. So they need the blood of these young people or whatever. So you basically got a bunch of teenagers. They're, for whatever reason, there's a bunch of them that's been coming to this lake or some shit. in the mountains, forest area. And some of these teenagers are getting kidnapped by these two guys who work for the aliens, who are bringing them to them so they can drain them of their blood for whatever medical reasons that they need the blood for, to keep their race alive or some shit. Now, of course, the aliens don't look like aliens, as I said, and the uniforms that they have are just really cheesy looking. I mean, you could, like, the nurses are wearing these really weird cosmic skimpy outfits, and you're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And they're all dolled up and shit. They have these little decoder rings. They're just like 4 little green beads on a ring or some shit, and they can shoot small little lasers out of them, and they use them as communicators too. I don't know, it's just kind of bizarre, a little weird. The special effects is, of course, they're cheesy. It's cheesy. Now the acting wasn't too bad. It wasn't like great, but it wasn't so bad that I couldn't take it. I mean, I was able to watch the movie just fine. The acting was okay. But yeah, you basically have, like I said, these teenagers. Of course, it's one of those, you know, they have sex, they gotta be punished type shit, kinda. It just kind of felt that way. Bad teens for having sex, you know. What was hilarious is, you know, the women would be straight up nude, but the guys, they have, you know, they got their shirt taken off, but they still got their, you know, their jeans on, but yet they're fucking. And I'm just like, okay, get the fuck out of here. But anyways, what was the other deal? Oh, there was one scene where this guy, he jumps into the water to make out with his girlfriend. And then he's running out of the water, and instantly, like that, he's dry. Like his shorts or pants or whatever he's wearing, they're dry. After he just was in the water. I'm just like, okay, sure. But anyways, I don't know. The special effects was cheesy. It was an okay movie. The ending made no sense because literally the aliens just, one of them got killed. One of the girls killed one of the aliens escaping from the abandoned hospital. The 2 guys that were kidnapping, they both get killed because they captured a couple of the teenagers and then they turned on them and killed them. At the end, you have the blonde-headed stud and the pretty little blonde. They're the ones to survive, his girlfriend. And everybody else dies. And there's several teenagers, but they all die. And the 2 guys that were kidnapping, they die. And the aliens, they just take off. That's the end of the movie. Nothing's done to them. One of them dies, that's it. The rest of them, and there's several of them, they live and they take off. That's the end of the movie. It was bad. It wasn't a great movie. You know, if you want to watch it, go ahead. You can at least make it through it. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Like I said, it wasn't really that good of a movie. Alright, the next one, of course, I watched. Like I said, they're doing remakes of all these fucking movies, and I'm so sick of it. They've got a buttload of these horror flicks, and some of them have only been out like 2 or 3 years, and they're already redoing them. And I'm like, why? Get the fuck off the horror genre shit. Anyways, because they screw them up. Like, I like the 80s horror flicks, some of the 90s, even the 70s, but man, they are fucking them up left and right. They cannot tell a good story, especially horror. Anyways, so the next one I watched was Arachnophobia, which was done in 1990, and it made about 53 million worldwide. Starring Jeff Daniels and Harley Kozak. Now, you had several other stars in here, like John Goodman, Julian Sands, Rip. You know, he was a good actor. He was the Warlock. That's the one I liked him in the most. But anyways, it's your basic creature feature. They find some spiders that are extremely venomous, poisonous, in the Amazon, that had been hidden away in a certain habitat where they weren't coming in contact with humans. And Julian Sands, who plays a professor, him and his team find these spiders, and then he takes a couple of them back for specimens, but one of them escapes and kills this photographer that was with him. And then when they go put him in a wooden box, a crate, to ship him off to his hometown, one of the spiders ends up in the crate with him. So he ends up getting shipped to this town where Jeff Daniels plays a doctor who's supposed to take over as the town doctor. But the old man who's the town doctor changes his mind, doesn't want to give up or retire. And Jeff Daniels and his family had already bought a house and moved out there into that country town, and everybody started giving him a hard time. But people start dying left and right. And then one of them is this old doctor. He ends up getting bit and dies. And that's when they start listening to Jeff Daniels as the doctor. And he figures out what's going on. He brings in Julian Sands, the professor. He tells him he knows that one of his spiders escaped because he knows about the guy who died on the expedition they were on. So a lot of people died, but then John Goodman shows up, and he's like killing these spiders left and right with some type of concoction he came up with to kill just about anything. He's like an exterminator or some shit. Towards the end, they figure out that this spider created a nest at Jeff Daniels' house, the doctor's house. So Jeff Daniels goes there, saves his family, and then he gets trapped in the basement of the house, having to fight off this spider. Eventually kills it, kills the egg sac that was getting ready to hatch with all the baby spiders by burning it, and that's the end of the movie. Everyone lives happily ever after. Like I said, they're going to make a remake of this. They're rebooting it. Or whatever. I don't know why. It's a good movie. They should just leave it the fuck alone. but Hollywood can't do that. They gotta tack them fucking names onto their movies because they know people know the name of that movie or that title, and they do it out of nostalgia, so people recognize that and go spend money watching a piece of shit remake. It's a money cash grab, whatever you want to call it. It's bullshit. They can't do an original fucking story. And they've got plenty of books. There's a shit ton of books. They can find stories to do. They just don't too damn lazy to do it. They want that cash cow. So anyways, this is a really good movie. If you like creature features, definitely check it out. I give it 2 thumbs up. That's all I have for you this week. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you can think of any movies, B movies, or underrated films you think I've never even heard of, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you to be told the truth, and you just been told.